You know that feeling, right? You're learning English, things are going okay with grammar, vocabulary's building. But then you hear native speakers just, well, talking normally. Or you watch a movie, and bang! It's like they hit fast forward.
Yeah, suddenly everything's a blur.
Exactly. You grab maybe a word here, another there, but most of it just flies past. And you're left thinking, what just happened? What did I miss? If that sounds like you, well, you're definitely not the only one.
Oh, absolutely. It's probably one of the most common frustrations for English learners. Native speakers, we just naturally connect sounds. Sometimes we like drop bits of words and the pace. It's just different from textbook English.
The fluency, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, decoding it can feel like a real mountain to climb.
It can. But the good news is it's totally climbable. And that's what we're digging into today.
We found this really useful YouTube video. It's from the English in Comfort channel. Yeah, it's called How to Understand Fast Native English Speakers English Listening Practice Learning Podcast. The hosts, Liam and Emily, they lay out some really practical stuff.
Right.
So our mission here is to pull out their best, most beginner-friendly tips, stuff you can actually use like right away. And these are tips they say have worked for actual learners.
That's key, isn't it? That real-world feedback. It means these aren't just theories, they're strategies that genuinely help people get over that hurdle.
Exactly. So we're going to walk through their 10 main tips. We'll look at why they work, give some examples, show you how to practice them.
Sounds good. 10 steps to clearer listening.
Think of it as, I don't know, tuning your radio, getting your ear dialed into faster English. We really hope you'll try some of these out. Okay, ready to dive in?
Let's do it.
All right, so Liam and Emily's first tip is maybe the most obvious one. Turn on subtitles.
Right. Seems simple, but there's a good reason for it.
Yeah, they talk about how it uses both your eyes and your ears at the same time.
It's like a safety net, as they put it. If your ear misses something in that fast flow,
Where eyes can catch it, exactly. And that double input, seeing and hearing, it really helps your brain link the sounds to the written words.
And it goes beyond just catching missed words, too. It helps with spelling, especially with those spoken contractions.
Oh, good point. Like hearing donna, but seeing going to written out.
Yeah. That reinforces the connection between the casual sound and the proper spelling. Helps build recognition over time.
Definitely. But they do give a heads up, right? About auto-generated subtitles.
Oh, yeah. Crucial point. Be careful with those. They can be okay sometimes, but accuracy.
Yeah.
Yeah, can be spotty. They might mix up words like there.
Which can be super confusing.
Totally. So if you can, try to find videos with proper captions. News channels, language learning sites. They're usually pretty reliable.
So how do you actually practice this? Liam and Emily suggest a little exercise. Find a short clip, maybe just a minute, something with clear subtitles, news maybe, or another language video. Watch it once with the subtitles on. Really focus on both reading and listening.
Got it.
Then, watch it again without subtitles. See what you miss. Notice those tricky spots. Finally, go back to just those bits you struggled with. Put the subtitles back on for just those sections. Replay them until your ear starts to catch the sounds on its own.
That targeted repetition.
Yeah.
That's where the real training happens. It's like doing specific drills for your listening muscles.
Yeah, exactly. And they make a really good analogy about training wheels on a bike.
Ah, right.
Subtitles are helpful at first, they build confidence, but you don't want to keep them on forever. Eventually, you got to take them off to really test your own balance, your own listening skills.
Makes sense. Okay, so that's subtitles. What's tip number 2?
Tip 2 gives you more control. It's slow down the audio.
Yes. The playback speed button. Your friend.
Totally. This can be a real game changer. You're not just stuck with the speaker's pace. Most players, video or audio, let you adjust the speed.
And you should absolutely use that feature.
Liam and Emily suggest trying maybe 0.8x or 0.9x speed, especially if you're feeling lost. It might sound a bit weird at first, you know, words get kind of stretched
A
out.
little robotic sometimes.
Yeah, maybe. But that extra fraction of a second per word can make a huge difference. It lets your ear sort things out, separate words that might just blur together at normal speed.
It's like watching a dance in slow motion, they said. You see all the individual moves clearly before you watch at full speed.
Great analogy. And they also suggest maybe combining this with tip 1, at least at the start.
Subtitles and slower speed.
Yeah. Double support. Visual and slightly slower audio helps really cement those connections.
Okay. And how do they suggest practicing this one?
Simple method. Pick a short clip, 1 or 2 minutes. Play it at, say, 0.8x speed. Just try to get the main idea. Don't pause too much. Then, play it again at normal speed 1x. See what you understand now that you missed before.
Ah, that comparison must be encouraging.
Yeah, and they even say, maybe write down something that was fuzzy at 1x but clear at 0.8x. Then really focus on listening to just that bit at normal speed again.
Nice. Targeted practice again.
They give a good example too, like maybe you missed greenhouse gases in a fast news report.
But at 0.8x, you hear it clearly. Green.house.gas.
Exactly. And that little win, it boosts your confidence. They suggest doing this maybe 5 minutes a day, using different types of audio interviews, chats, news to get used to different styles. Just slow down a bit.
You're in control. Slow it down, then gradually speed back up as you get comfortable.
Precisely. Okay, moving on. Tip number 3 changes focus a bit. It's about listening for specific things. Key words.
Ah, this is strategic. Not all words are created equal in a sentence, right?
Nope. Key words carry the main meaning. Usually nouns, main verbs, maybe strong adjectives or adverbs.
And question words. What, where, why, how. Those are always key.
Absolutely. And the thing is, native speakers often naturally stress these words. A bit louder, maybe held a tiny bit longer.
Sometimes a little pause just before or after them, yeah. Makes them stand out.
Like in, I love chocolate. Even if I and chocolate are quick, love pops out.
Right. Or if an adjective is really important, like that movie was really funny. Really gets stressed because it adds important emphasis.
So how do we train our ears for this? They have a practice exercise.
Okay.
Take a sentence. They canceled the flight because of heavy fog this morning.
Right.
If you just catch the keywords canceled, flight, heavy fog, morning, you basically get the whole story. Flight's off, fog happened this morning.
You got the core message. And they make a point about because of there, too.
Yeah, how it often gets reduced to sound like cause of, which actually leads perfectly into the next tip. But yeah, focusing on those main words helps cut through the clutter.
It lets you understand the gist, even if the little connecting words are fast or reduced.
They give a longer example, too. The teacher announced a pop quiz after lunch. Students looked surprised, but she said it would only cover chapters 1 and 2.
Okay, lots going on there.
But if you focus on teacher announced, pop quiz, students surprised, cover chapters 1 and 2.
You get it. Surprise quiz, after lunch, chapters 1 and 2. Got it.
The less crucial words fade a bit, making the main points clearer.
Makes sense. Filter out the noise, focus on the signal.
And a neat way to practice this yourself, they suggest, is record yourself saying something simple like, I'm going to the store to buy bread.
Okay.
Then listen back. Which words did you naturally stress? It helps you become aware of that rhythm.
That's clever. Tuning your own ear by listening to yourself.
Yeah. Okay, tip number 4 builds right on this. Recognizing reductions. This is where those squished words come in.
Ah, yes, the bane of many learners. Reductions, where we kind of blend those shortened words. Super common in fast, natural speech.
And if you don't know them, it can sound like gibberish.
Totally. Knowing them is key to unlocking comprehension.
The video gives a great list, like wanna for want to, gonna for going to.
Gotta for got to, or have to. Have to for have to. Did ya for did you.
And all the have ones, coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Right. Could've, should've, would've. Then things like lemme for let me. Gimme for give me.
Kinda, sorta, don't know for don't know, even cuz for because.
Yeah, that list covers a lot of the big ones. And they really do make words sound like they're just running together.
They can sound like one long, weird word if you're not expecting it.
Exactly. It's not just word speed, it's the blending. But once you know the patterns, your brain can start to, like, unpack them.
So how do we practice recognizing these? Liam and Emily have exercises for this too.
Good.
First, they give the reduced form. You figure out the full one, like, I'm gonna grab some coffee.
Becomes, I'm gonna grab some coffee.
Or, did you see that movie last night?
Did you see that movie?
Yeah. Then they flip it, give the full form. You say the reduced one, I wanna go home.
Becomes, I wanna go home.
You have to finish your homework.
Often you gotta finish. Or you have to finish.
I do not know the answer.
I don't know the answer. Yeah, these really show the difference between written and spoken forms.
Definitely. And for practicing on your own, they suggest grabbing a short clip again, maybe from a TV show, vlog, podcast, something casual.
Okay.
Listen just for these reductions. Write down what you actually hear, even if it looks weird.
Like did ya or gonna.
Yeah. Then try to rewrite those as the full forms. And finally, say both versions out loud. The full one, then the reduced one.
Ah, that back and forth.
Right.
Hearing it, writing it, saying it really drills it in.
They say try it with maybe 3 sentences a day. Mix of statements, questions, negatives to get a feel for how they work everywhere.
Solid advice. Okay, what's tip 5?
Tip 5 zooms out a bit. Learn chunks.
Chunks, like pieces of language.
Exactly. Groups of words that often go together and act like a single unit. Phrasal verbs, idioms, common expressions.
Things like look forward to or at the end of the day.
Perfect examples. And the key thing they point out is, in fast speech, we don't pause between the words in the chunk.
Right, it comes out as one smooth block at the end of the day.
Yeah. So if you recognize the whole chunk at the end of the day as one unit, meaning ultimately, you process it much faster than trying to decode at, then the, then end, then of.
It's like seeing a familiar face instead of analyzing features one by one. Speeds things up.
Totally. Learning words just one by one can leave you scrambling to put them together when listening live. Chunks are like pre-assembled pieces.
Makes sense. Did they give other examples?
Yeah, good ones. Kind of like meaning similar to, or to some extent, like it's kind of like riding a bike. We already mentioned look forward to, meaning await eagerly. I look forward to our next lesson.
Okay.
And on the other hand, for introducing a contrast, reading is easy. On the other hand, speaking is hard.
Yeah, those are everywhere. You hear them all the time.
So when you hear a chunk like that, they suggest pausing the audio if you can and just repeat the whole chunk out loud.
Get the feel of it.
Yeah. And if you're not sure what it means, look it up. Write it down, maybe with an example sentence, and practice saying it again.
So you're building up like a mental phrase book.
Exactly. They call it building a library of chunks. And that library becomes super useful for understanding fast speech because you're spotting familiar blocks, not just individual words.
Cool. Okay, that's 5 tips down. What's number 6?
Number 6 gets into something a bit more subtle, understanding the music of English rhythm and intonation.
Ah, the melody of the language. Not just what we say, but how we say it.
Precisely. English has this rhythm, right? Some syllables are longer, stressed, others are shorter, quicker, and our pitch goes up and down.
Especially with questions or showing emotion.
And they argue that tuning into this music really helps understanding. It's more than just the words, it's the feeling, the flow.
It kind of anchors the meaning, doesn't it? Helps you follow along.
Definitely. They use a simple question, are you coming with us? And they point out how your voice naturally goes up a bit on you and with us, then maybe drops at the end. Try saying it, are you coming with us?
Right. I can feel that rise and fall.
Then they show how in faster speech it might become, are ya coming with us?
The you reduces to you.
Yeah, but the basic melody, the up and down pattern, it's still kind of similar, just faster.
Ah, okay. So the core tune remains even when words get reduced.
That seems to be the idea. They give another example. I was thinking we could grab lunch around noon. Does that work for you?
Okay, normal pace.
Now imagine it faster. You still need to catch the stressed words like lunch, noon, work, you, and the rising question pitch at the end. Those give you clues even if other bits are quick.
So listening for the stress and the pitch changes helps navigate the speed.
Seems like it. And for practice, they suggest recording yourself.
Again.
Say a sentence slowly and clearly, then say it again, faster, more naturally, then listen back. Compare your rhythm and pitch to maybe the original speaker if you have one, or just listen for your own patterns.
Trying to mimic the natural music.
Yeah. Doing this daily with short dialogues, just 2 lines maybe, can help internalize those patterns. It trains your ear and your mouth, which makes processing it easier when you hear it.
Interesting. So it's about feeling the rhythm, not just hearing the words.
Exactly. Okay, tip 7 is something we've kind of touched on, but they really emphasize it. Immerse yourself in English audio.
Just surround yourself with it.
Pretty much. The idea is to have English playing as much as possible, even just in the background while you do other things.
So passive listening, basically.
Yeah, a lot of it is. The theory is the more your brain is exposed to the natural flow, the rhythms, the common phrases, the more it starts to tune in automatically. Almost subconsciously.
Like absorbing it through osmosis.
Kind of. They suggest podcasts while cooking, radio while cleaning, TV shows while relaxing. Just have it on.
Even if you're not, like, actively studying it word for word.
Right. Your brain is still picking up patterns, intonation, common chunks. It's about making English a constant sound in your environment.
And they mentioned variety too, right? Don't just stick to one thing.
Crucial point. Mix it up. News, interviews, chats, different accents, makes your ear more flexible.
They told a story, didn't they, about someone listening to a tech podcast passively.
Yeah, while doing dishes or something. And later, they realized they were understanding tech terms they hadn't actively learned. just from hearing them repeatedly in context.
That's the power of immersion.
So they suggest maybe making a playlist of stuff you like and then adding one new thing each week, a British vlog maybe, or an Australian show. Aim for maybe 30 minutes a day of background English.
Just let it play, no pressure.
Exactly. Over time, you might surprise yourself by what you start picking up. Your ear just gets accustomed. It's not about ignoring meaning, just living with the sound.
Right. Okay, that leads nicely into tip 8,
Yeah.
which actually defines these two approaches. Practice active and passive listening.
Yeah, distinguishing between the two. Active listening is the focused workout.
Full attention, taking notes maybe, rewinding, aiming for 100% understanding.
Pretty much like a proper study session, intense.
And passive listening is?
That's the background stuff. Audio on while you're doing chores, commuting, whatever, you're absorbing the general sound, the rhythm, maybe catching phrases, but not analyzing every word.
Like the immersion we just talked about. The video compared it to a fitness tracker versus a gym workout.
That's a great comparison. Active is the workout, passive is the tracker counting steps all day. Both contribute.
So how do they suggest using active listening?
Short clips again, 1 or 2 minutes. Maybe use subtitles or a transcript first. Note down new words or chunks. Replay tricky parts until they're clear.
Really digging deep. Improves precision, catches details. But it can be tiring.
Exactly, it takes concentration.
Which is where passive listening comes in handy.
Yep. When you don't have the energy for active focus, switch to passive. Put on a podcast, radio, music in English, let it play. Your brain's still getting exposure without the strain.
It's like letting the language seep in gently.
They recommend trying to do both in a day. Maybe 15 minutes or more of active, focused listening.
Followed by 20-30 minutes of passive listening later on.
Yeah, something like that. And they say it's a really good sign when you start noticing things you learned actively popping up when you're listening passively.
Ah, like hearing a chunk you studied earlier, just naturally in a conversation. Means it's sticking.
Exactly. The connection's being made in a real context. Okay, tip 9 goes into accents again, but with a specific goal. Mix up accents and contexts.
Right. We touched on accents with immersion, but this is more deliberate.
Yeah, and they clarify again, it's about listening to different accents, not necessarily learning to speak them.
Because if you only ever hear, say, American English, then suddenly hearing a strong Scottish or Indian accent.
It can sound like a completely different language. It can be a real barrier.
So the idea is to deliberately expose yourself.
Yeah. Listen to American news one day, maybe a British vlog the next, an Australian interview after that. Just vary it.
And vary the context too, not just accents.
Good point, yes.
Yeah.
Formal news versus casual chat versus a documentary. The language, speed, tone, vocabulary all change.
Like tech talk is different from finance chat.
Totally. They point out how, say, American newsreaders are clear but fast. British vloggers might use slang and drop sounds. Australians have unique vowel sounds.
Getting used to that variety makes your ear more adaptable.
And you don't need to become an expert overnight. Just starting with maybe 10 minutes a day of a new accent or context can help.
It's about getting comfortable with the idea of variation, not mastering everything.
Exactly. It builds confidence. So when you meet someone new with an unfamiliar accent, your brain doesn't panic. It thinks, okay, different, but I've handled different before.
Makes sense. Of course, if your main goal is American English, focus there, but
A little side trip into British or Australian English now and then keeps your ear flexible. Good practice.
right. Okay, we're at the final tip, number 10.
And this one's kind of fun, actually. Predict what you'll hear next.
Ooh, like trying to guess the next word.
Basically, yeah. It makes listening more active and less reactive. If you're anticipating, fast speech feels less like a surprise attack.
How do you do it?
Use everything you've got. The context, the topic, what's already been said, the speaker's tone. Make educated guesses.
Start simple.
Yeah. If someone says she wants to, well, what might come next?
Eat, sleep, talk, go, buy. Depends on the situation.
Right. Then try longer ones. After work, a meeting.
Friends, my boss, a client for dinner.
Exactly. And the crucial thing they emphasize is, it doesn't matter if you guess wrong.
Really?
Yeah. The act of trying to predict is the valuable part. It trains your brain to think ahead, to engage with the possibilities, not just passively receive words one by one.
So it stops every word feeling totally new and unexpected.
Precisely. You're priming your brain for what might come. It's a quick, almost game-like way to stay engaged.
I like that. Active prediction.
So that's the 10 tips from Liam and Emily at English in Comfort, a whole toolkit for tackling fast native English.
It's a really comprehensive set, actually. From technical things like subtitles and speed
To linguistic linguistic focuses like keywords, reductions, chunks.
To broader strategies like immersion, active versus passive listening, accents, and even prediction.
So, thinking about all those, which ones kind of jump out at you right now? As Liam and Emily asked, maybe focusing on keywords feels right, or slowing down the audio, or maybe that idea about the rhythm, the music of English.
It's worth considering, isn't it? What feels like the next logical step for you, the listener? Where's your biggest challenge right now?
Maybe just pick one or two of these, something that feels achievable, and just start playing with it, experimenting in the next few days, see how it feels.
Because ultimately, getting comfortable with fast English isn't about one magic trick. It's a journey, right? It takes consistent steps using the right tools.
And each of these 10 tips is a really valuable tool you can add to your kit. We definitely encourage you to explore them, find what clicks for you for your own learning style.